First order of business is pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of meeting agenda items.
I have no additions or changes, Mr. Chairman.
I move to approve the minutes of February 12th, 2018 as presented. Oh, oops, sorry. I approve I just approve. Where am I? Here I am. I move to approve the February 28th, 2018 meeting agenda item as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the February 28th meeting agenda items as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. 5.1. Excuse me.
6.
Approval of minutes.
I move to approve the minutes of February 12, 2018 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the February 12th meeting as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Correspondence.
It's hard to believe it actually have correspondence.
Okay.
First time in a long time, so here it goes. This is an email I received yesterday from Tyler Hollingsworth. He is the head coach for the Crestwell girls basketball team, and it goes, Lakeview Community. My name is Tyler Hollingsworth, the coach of the Crestwell girls basketball team. I want to tell you how much we appreciate your hospitality during last Friday's game. I've been coaching both high school and college for the last 10 years, and it's seen more of an inviting environment. From the drinks and the snacks to the locker room, to the pizza at the end, it was all very generous. More importantly, the fans and the people of Lakeview were so nice before, during, and after the game. Just wanted to let you know how appreciative we were, and we are looking forward to improve our hosting abilities based on our experiences in Lakeview. Thanks again, Tyler Hollingsworth, head girls basketball coach, health and social studies, Crestwell High School. Most appreciated.
We noticed that he had a assistant coach who was a former Lakeview High School graduate.
I understand that, yeah. She came over and visited with Bobby's signature.
Yeah,
so.
she was there.
There's one right here.
All right. Any other correspondence?
That's it, sir.
Although we won't bite if you want the front.
Next is public comment. And before we get into public comment, I will read a quick note here. First thing that we want to make sure we do in public comment is that we don't talk about a student or a teacher or anybody by name. We can certainly talk about, what's your concern or your thing that you would like to bring to the board as something to light for us. The school board normally accepts public comment only at its regularly scheduled meetings. Members of the public who wish to address the Board of Education should notify the superintendent, board chairman, and board secretary prior to the meeting. Public comment is not normally accepted at special meetings, work sessions. Questions asked by the public when possible will be answered immediately by the chair or referred to staff members for reply. Questions requiring investigation may, at the discretion of the chair, be referred to by the superintendent for response at a later time. Speakers may offer objective criticism of district operations and programs, but the board will not hear complaints concerning individual district personnel. The chair will direct the visitor to the appropriate means for board consideration and disposition of legitimate complaints involving individuals. So, individuals addressing the board are asked to provide their intent to speak, which we have one here today. The statement should be brief and concise and be limited to about 3 minutes. You'll announce your name before speaking. Discussion in regard to any individual district or staff member will not be allowed. Refer to the board policy. Be courteous of others and follow board-established procedures for the meeting. Notification is given to speakers that meetings may be recorded. So, with that, we have one public comment here, and it's from Jan Wright. Do you care to speak?
Yes, thank you. And I hope I'm not speaking out of order. I'm not sure what you mean by your meetings and public.
Yeah, but this is a regular
Input.
scheduled meeting, so you're
This
fine.
is, all right. Well, you know, things have been very emotional the last couple of weeks with the latest shooting, which was at a school. And my concern is, what kind of a world are we living in? I mean, we are 4% of the world's population, and we have 44% of the world's guns. What's wrong with us? I mean, this is ridiculous. We want to live in an open society, and we can't let fear dominate. How are we going to deal with this in our community, in our nation, in our world? So that's really my question. And I don't know if the conversation has been brought up yet, if you guys have been talking about guns and what you're talking about. You know, everyone really thinks that arming teachers is ridiculous. I was just talking to a couple of young wood-cutting gun owners. And I mean, as radical as they are from me about guns, they think it's crazy to have guns in the school. So I'm wondering what's been going on in conversation with school officials and whatnot. If you could share that with me, I'd really appreciate it.
Okay, well, just to start with, really our focus has been more on the school safety and the safety of access of people into our buildings. We are looking at, we're gonna have some people review our buildings. Our buildings are old. They are all, have been here for many, many years, and they aren't set up modern style like you do see at some schools where you have an entrance and you have to have somebody buzz you in to get further through. So we're gonna have that evaluation done, and we won't know back on that till quite a bit later on, maybe the end of the summer or something like that. But that will give us a idea of how much money we need to try to find, whether it's a grant or it's a bond or it's something that we know a goal of what it's gonna take to make our schools safe.
Is there a conversation with the students going on in our schools?
I'll refer that to the superintendent.
Well, prior to the Florida shooting, you know, the hostile intruders thing is something that we rehearse, and all these law enforcement officials are here tonight too to answer any questions. You know, we rehearse detailed drills, hostile intruder drills, lockdown, lockout, evacuation. I've had some people ask, well, if we evacuate, when are we going to evacuate to? Well, that's something we found out with active shooters. If they find out your evacuation point, they can probably be there, and there's a proponent of danger in that. So we have these drills all in place. The one thing I thank Mrs. Milsis for is the fact that we, a year ago, we installed a complete district-wide phone system where we have now have a phone in every room. Prior to that, high school had an intercom system, and middle school, part of the middle school was wired with the intercom system to give a warning to staff and students. However, the elementary basically had nothing. And now we have a district-wide phone system where you press, I'm not going to tell you what the number is, you press a 3-digit number and all call goes out as far as an intruder alert or a safety alert. So that we've gained some ground on that. Tomorrow, I've had some other parents approach me with just such questions. Jan, I'm going to put together a public meeting that is dedicated to these topics. And I've talked to most of the people, our safety folks in the room this evening. By the way, juvenile, we're meeting at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning in this office, so you're just getting the to the word on that right now, to plan an all-district safety, meeting, so to speak, for parents. And we're gonna involve state police, county, the sheriff's office, LPD, EMS, Lake County Juvenile, and form a very coherent agenda based on these questions I'm receiving from parents and try to answer all these things that people are really wanting to know about. I think there's a lot of things we're doing already that the general community is unaware of, like these drills, these evacuations we're doing,
Right.
these code words we use, and all these protocols we do in our schools to train our kids, train our staff, to help them to be more safe. So, Mrs. Warner, would you like to chime in on that?
I think you covered it. Yes.
Did I? Okay. Well, law enforcement, would you like to chime in on anything while you're here?
No, I don't think, unless you have a specific question for law enforcement.
I can't think of anything right now.
Okay.
There's so much, yeah, it's complicated.
But yeah, we are gonna put together a public meeting. Hopefully, it's gonna be a very good forum as far as really providing the public information to address their concerns and everything, so that's our goal.
Thank you, Ms. Wright. Is there any other public comment? Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on to reports. Building principals report.
Would you like to go first?
You can go ahead.
Okay, let's start with Union. We're just about done with EBL out at Union in the gym there, and I hear it's been pretty lively out there. And a lot of kids getting a lot of good skills. The garden club met for the first time in a couple of months, and they're working. They do have some winter vegetables, even though we've had some pretty inclement weather out in the greenhouse, and they're kind of putting together a schedule and a timeline of what they want to start planning and getting those parents to their work day and some things like that. They're excited. And they've been taste testing all throughout the fall and winter of things that they could raise in there. It gets pretty slim towards the late fall and the winter, but there's some kale and some other things in there. And then I just got a letter today from Parents Club, and they made another very sizable donation of library books. They did physical books this time, and they're already on the shelves in the library. So they're bebopping along out there. We just had a student of the month assembly this afternoon, and those kids are doing some great reading and math out there, give out a bunch of awards. I want to jump to ELL for just a minute because I do some work with that. And for the school board to know, every so often we're required to submit a new plan for ELL learners, and that was submitted to
Do you mind explaining
English
that?
language learners, sorry.
Okay. Yep.
English language learners, and Ms. Chavez helped a ton with that and jumped in, and Susan Albertson, I want to give them a little bit of credit because they've been spending a lot of after hours time getting that stuff submitted for our district. Throughout the elementary schools, we had several representatives, and we went to a training that Ms. Chavez brought to the district from Hungerford Law Firm, and they specialize in special education law. So we had several teachers come in, our special education teachers, and they just did a fantastic job answering questions for us and giving some of our newer special ed teachers some information about special ed law. I sat in on part of it, and it was just very good. We also did a training with Ryan Tagg. He's up and going on threat assessments for our district, and we had a group of teachers, administrators that sat in on risk assessment or threat assessment training for those kiddos that are making threats within our schools, and we can work through a process outside of it's the next level up kind of from our disciplinary system. So we did that. We've done several safety drills. We do them once a month. And like Mr. Cahill said, our safety drills include a fire drill, lockdown, lockout, take shelter type drill, and then an evacuation drill as well. We're moving into a different training phase because we haven't had our intercoms at the elementary school that long, and so instead of me running those drills, the secretaries or other staff are running those drills, and we're also practicing them without all of our staff, such that if we did have an intruder situation, those kids need to respond to whatever adult is there in the evacuation and not try and find their teacher, because that might not be an option for them. You guys are familiar as a school board a little bit with House Bill 3499, which is also an ELL learner grant from the state of Oregon. And Janice Heigl is our math coach that we hired for the year, and she was just here, and some work with teachers in the classrooms around some goals that they had set. But next time that she comes, they are working strictly on assessment and smarter balance testing. The teachers have to give a computational test, but they also do what they call a performance task. And so she's demonstrating some of those performance tests in math for our teachers. We have had some money from box tops, all those little box tops you folks have been saving for many, many years. That money's been sitting there since Mr. Cahill's time at the elementary school. And the staff would like to put in a different sound system, the 80 Gym. It's the original sound system, I think, from when they built the building. And we'd like to upgrade that to Bluetooth and some things so we can provide some music and movement in with our PE classes. And then also with assemblies, we have kind of a hodgepodge to get anything done as far as a sound system for our assemblies, and we'd like to upgrade that a little bit. So we'll be using our box tops dollars to do that. Oaks testing is just about done for science for 5th grade, and we'll be starting in smarter balance testing next week. Do you have any questions? We're busy, busy.
Good deal.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Betts?
Okay, so, winter sports is just wrapping up, and the boys' basketball team, placed 4th in their league. The wrestlers took 4 wrestlers to state, with Dylan still placing 4th at state. Girls' basketball lost their playoff game to Crestwell Friday night. The high school staff, and we'd really like to thank the Booster Club, because they provided pizza to all of the teams that were in, that would come and travel, and then they'd send them home with pizza. And so really, you know, the Booster Club really stepped up, and thank you for that, because that was really a big thing, and the teams really appreciated it, which you guys heard in the comment, the announcement. Winter recognition assembly will take place on March 16th. So we'll cover academics in that, as well as athletics and activities. Spring sports began on Monday. You guys made a comment about the snow, so we know spring sports has started, yeah. I think practices have been inside. So, and then the staff is gonna have a senior basketball game with the senior class on March 6th at 6:30. And then National Honor Society is, seeking out community teams as well as school teams for a dodgeball game, and it's a fundraising activity for their program. I think it's $2 to get in the door, and that's March 7th at 6:30. Tiana Cobian is a student teacher for us right now in the social studies department, and she's overseeing the middle school student council. And this week, the student council students are just really excited in middle school to be involved and to be doing things that the high school students are doing. So that has been a great thing for them to start doing some activities. So, if you have any questions.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, January financial report.
Okay, I'll start off with the revenue. So in the month of December, we collected $672,000, and in the month of January, a total of $518,000, which is a little bit below on both counts for December and January. We anticipated in January about $642,000 rather, and only collected the $518,000. A couple of things that I wanted to make comment though is our tuition is significantly higher. We've got quite a few kids from MODOC. Blush has a handful, and Adele has a couple that are with us now. And so that has jumped for us significantly this year. The other thing is the interest that we're gaining through the LGIP, which is statewide. The interest rates have gone dramatically up. If you look at July, we only gained about $1,800. In January, we collected $5,100. Excuse me. So right at the moment, we've collected about $6,107,000 compared to our projected, which is $8,571,000 for the general fund. So we're about 71% collected. Tax-wise, we're about 98% collected, so that slowed down quite a bit. We got quite a lot in November, more than we had anticipated. So we're kind of plugging along. We're still behind on our revenue, about 299,000. I collected quite a bit. We got some billing done in February for counselors and the tech that Jack was talking about earlier today. So there's a big shot there that's going to come in the month of February that we're going to find. So I haven't got obviously that totaled up or tallied as of yet, but we should see a pretty good shot in the arm for that. It's not going to make us positive in our collection, I don't think, but it'll make a dent in that 299,000 that we're behind essentially on. On the expenditure side, we've been really doing pretty well. You know, our biggest cost is obviously our payroll. As far as payables are concerned, which is all of our supplies, durables, consumables, etc. We've only spent about 42% of our budget. Over the long haul, it's 45% over payroll and payables, consumable supplies. So I'm actually pretty impressed with our level of shopping around, getting the great deals, those kinds of things. So we're at 206,000 ahead right at the moment, but obviously that doesn't make up for the 299 that we have shortfall in revenue. So our ending fund balance at the end of January was $3,037,394. Of course, we keep a lot of that until June. We have big payrolls in June for the months of July and August. It usually gets paid out in June. We're okay, although probably tomorrow is going to get an email that says don't spend, no more spending. So I'll be the bad guy in the morning.
Alright, thanks. A lot of new faces in the audience, but we just had presented to us last board meeting, and we were very successful. So I really feel like we're on a good track there as far as our financial expenditures. So. All right, thanks, Jim. All right, old business.
I have one, Mr. Chair.
Okay, new business.
Well, next week is Classified Employee Appreciation Week, and anytime we have one of these momentous weeks, I'm going to read a resolution to you, so for your approval as a new business item, so here we go. Resolution 18, board meeting, February 28, 2018, Classified Employee Appreciation Week Resolution, March 5th through 9, 2018. Whereas the education of youth is essential to the future of our community, state, and world, and whereas classified employees are the backbone of our public education system, and whereas classified employees work directly with students, educators, parents, volunteers, business partners, and community members, and whereas classified employees support the smooth operation of offices, the safety and maintenance of buildings and property, and the safe transportation and healthy nutrition and direct instruction of students. And whereas our community depends upon and trusts the classified employees to serve students, and whereas classified employees with their diverse talents and true dedication nurture students throughout their school years, now therefore it be resolved that Lake County School District Number 7 Board of Directors proclaims March 5 through 9, 2018 to be Classified Employees Appreciation Week. And it be further resolved that the Lake County School District Number 7 Board of Directors strongly encourage all members of our community to join in this observance, recognizing the dedication and hard work of these individuals. Adopted on this day of February 2018. So, it goes without saying, classified employees are a very valuable entity to this district. We appreciate the great work of each and every one of them, from our education assistants to our bus drivers, to our custodians, to our secretaries. It is a very diverse group. And as superintendent of this district, you know, I go on record as saying expressing my sincere thanks and appreciation to each and every one of them for the great work that they do. I believe next week the buildings all have some activities planned as far as honoring the classified employees. Mrs. Warner, you want to share what might be happening down at the elementary?
I'd be happy to. We do appreciate these ladies. They do a lot of duty, and they also spend a lot of time just working with kids in small groups, and lots of times they're the front line that these kids are gonna talk to if they're having a problem, and then we just have a really great team down there. And we've always had teachers pick our students of the month, and I thought that they should be included in that. So our assistants now pick a student of the month as well from their small group work with them, and they're really enjoying that. They need to be included in that way, I think. Monday, they are getting goodie bags, and Tuesday is, I believe, coffee day. We're still kind of out there on that. Wednesday, there's a breakfast plan for them, and so that morning duty is probably the coldest part of their day. So myself and some other teachers will take their morning duties from 7:45 to 8:15, and Fremont staff is cooking them breakfast. Thursday, the district office has planned treats for them, and then Friday, myself and other staff will take their lunch duties, and they've planned a luncheon for them, soup and salads and things like that. So something happens usually every day for them.
Mrs. Chavez and I, it's a work in progress at the high school, but we will honor them, we'll have
Well-
something. Is there something in the background you've heard about, Mrs. Chavez?
The staff is gonna have a lunch on Friday for the high school, and then student council does something every day for the classified, Monday through Thursday with the staff picking up lunch. Susan's a hard act to follow.
No, I have to say, it's not me. I'm helping with coffee day on Tuesday, and I tried to help with some other things. Those teachers really appreciate the staff down there, and those teachers they take care of it. They just do.
We maybe should copy that coffee day, I like that idea.
And I will do what I do best. I will have a donut table.
Over here.
Yeah. You know where that's gonna go.
Jess and I live in Rufus, and we just have everybody
And
sign
there's
up.
lots, I kind of went down a list of, all the great classified employees that they do. And respect Ms. Rayon here this evening, who comes in and substitutes for one group of classified employees, the educational media / lifestyle. I would be remiss if I didn't mention them in my speech, so I have respect and dedication to you, Mrs. Rayon, Ms. Rayon, sorry. There you have it, not butchering your names. So anyway.
Good. Any other new business?
I have none, Mr. Chair.
All right. Do we have a motion?
I move to approve resolution number 18, classified employee appreciation week from March 5th through 9th, 2018. And I'd also like to extend the board's appreciation for the great work they do for Lake County School District number 6.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the resolution number 18, classified employee appreciation week, March 5th through the 9th, and extend appreciation for the great work that they do for Lake County School District number 7. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I have a little coffee espresso thing that you can get. It's not the big,
A
one.
Keurig?
No, it's an actual espresso machine.
The Parents Club last year bought Keurig machines for Fremont and Hay, and Union already had one from their Parents Club, and they use it a lot. And so they get in on that, but we have uptown that come coffee, they think, because they never get to go uptown to do that, so that's.
Oh, nice.
Okay, we're down to consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Announcements?
I have none, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Next board meeting agenda items.
We will finish up my evaluation and evaluation approval. And then in a work session, I have a number of copies of the 2018-19 instructional calendar for the board to look at. I currently have those copies out with the two union groups, having them look at it and gaining their opinion on it. So by the time we come to that meeting, they will have kind of their vote on which calendar. I have 4 separate calendars that they approve of and like the best.
Okay. We're down to adjournment.
I move we adjourn the meeting.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you.